What up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode of Kickin' It with B. I am your host, B, and I'm finishing up Women's History Month with the podcast with, I had to go out with a bang, and I had to have someone who I felt I needed to shine a spotlight on, because when she was on previously, she shined a spotlight on me, but I want her to be in the spotlight, and it's one of the most important women in my
Continue. Sorry, my AirPods are slipping. That was a great intro, though. Carry on.
important women in my life right now. It's my wife, Joy, who is also the producer of my show and my companion in life. And I want you all to get to know her more. So we're going to have her on today and wrap up Women's History Month. So just like I do with every other guest, let's share how we met. How did we meet?
I'm sharing. I can tell a story.
Okay, go ahead. You tell. You
can fill in the gaps. Hop in. Okay, cool.
Actually, first, can I set the scene? And then
yeah. You have to set the scene.
Okay, I'll set the scene. All right. So I mentioned in my last episode with Amber that, and she also mentioned that we didn't go to our prom. So my senior prom is crazy because I remember the date, May 21st, 2006. I don't remember it for that moment. I remember it for what it eventually became. But May 21st, 2006, I'm at home chilling. I'm bored, but I'm watching X-Men 2 with my mom. I was just downstairs in the living room. She was in the living room. We were watching this movie, and she was like intrigued by it, and I was telling her everything about it because X-Men 2 at the time was one of my favorite movies. Then I get a phone call from my god sister, who is essentially like a sister to me because we've known each other our whole life. And she hits me up and she's like, "What are you doing, brother?" She said, "I know you didn't go to your prom. What are you up to?" And I'm like, "I'm sitting here watching this movie with my mom, whatever." And she's like, "Okay, cool. Me and a couple friends are going to come by." And I'm like, I didn't think anything about it. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not doing anything. It's whatever. So fast forward to when they get there, I walk outside and scene.
Okay. So you walk outside. Oh, I guess I should preface my side too. We were just hanging out, bored, like couldn't find anything to do. And then it was me, our friend Lainey, and Tasha. Tasha was like, let's just go see my god brother. And I was like, okay, because I had known Tasha for years at this point, and I had never heard her mention a god brother, but she was like, let's go see our god brother. I was like, all right, whatever, it's just some boy she know. So and then it ends up being literally right around the corner from my house where I like grew up my whole life. So she's like, let's go see my god brother. We pull up Erie Ave. And I'm in my dad's new Kia Sorento, which he had for like 2 weeks. And I'm driving. So we roll down the passenger window and Brandon leans on the window like this. And he's like, "Who's that thick, sexy chocolate girl behind the wheel?"
So
first words to me ever.
but fun fact about me though, like I never approached a girl like that at that time because I'm a nerd. Like, previous girlfriends have been gotten through like study sessions and like over time, like, we just hanging out and then it's like, I got a crush and I'm like, "Hey, would you like to be my girlfriend?" And they would sometimes say yes, they sometimes say no. So, so whatever. But it's like, I've never been that forward. And I can't tell you what came over me. It's like, I don't know what the sudden burst of confidence was. I just saw her, and that was the first thing that came to my mind.
You saw that thick, sexy chocolate girl? What you mean? It came all over you. Well, not like that.
It's the first time anything like that has ever happened with me. And it's funny because her reaction helped me know that she was into it. So I was like, oh.
I was like, this dude is funny. And he asked his question. First words he ever spoke to me. And I was just like, "Joy." And he was like, "Oh, what's up, Joy? Like, what we getting into tonight?" And I was like, "Nothing without you." But I meant to say.
So the question was, what are we getting into? What are y'all getting into tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
Your response was nothing without you. And then me still being smooth for some reason at that moment, like, all right, bet. So what are we doing?
And I was like, no, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say like, cause I was trying to be smart. I meant to say like nothing with you. And I was like, nothing without you. So I just we joked that like we've been, not
Ever
doing
since.
things without each other since for the last 17 years.
Yeah, 17 years I've known this woman. Also, let me also say this too. So the day before, Joy was hanging out with Tasha, and, our mutual friend Melanie, and my boy Austin, who I also said was going to be on the show eventually. But he called me that night after they were hanging out. He was like, "Yo, we were hanging out with this girl. I think you might like her. Yo, she seemed to be your type." Excuse me, y'all. Apologies. But he told me like she seemed to be your type, and I was like, interesting. And then just so happened they hit me up the next day, and it came. So I was like, oh, cool. She ended
and
up
this was completely unrelated. Like Austin and Tasha did know each other at that point, I think. And
at that point.
And I don't think they had a conversation. It just was like Austin was like, "Oh, I went bowling with this girl. You might like her." And then Tasha was like, "Let's go hang out with my god brother the very next day."
Mm-hmm.
And they probably, I don't think they had a conversation like, "Oh, let's meet this and do that," because none of that. Like, it just happened. It was so weird.
It was weird. But the thing about it is, though, there's been so many weird instances.
I was going to get into that.
There's been so many weird instances of us like almost meeting each other, right? Like we've crossed paths without knowing multiple times. We went to the same middle school together. She didn't go as long as I went, but she went there for a little bit. Like we knew similar people that went at the same time we went there. We caught the same bus to that middle school. Never crossed paths. Like she said, her house was around the corner from like where we met, which was outside my mom's house. And like she's lived there years. What else? So there's another one.
Oh, when our parents first met, our moms specifically, they knew each other. Like Brandon was like, all right, our mom's going to meet. I think your mom like cooked and had people over for your birthday or graduation? Graduation.
Yeah.
Like a little graduation shindig. So my family comes over because it's like, all right, it's the first time they all going to really meet and like talk and stuff. So once my mom walks in and I'm like, she's like, oh, I know you. And I was like, Kim, Ola. I was like, yeah. They used to work together. Well, Brandon used to attend a preschool where my mom cooked. She was like the lunch lady. So I remember her bringing fruit cocktail and stuff home. It was great. But our moms knew each other, like recognized each other when we met, and we were like, all right, what the heck is going on? Yeah, it's like this is weird. So
I'm gonna let you continue.
Yeah, so they start talking and catching up and stuff like that, and then I don't know if it was that night or eventually down the line we find a picture of them at that preschool, and by them it's Brandon and my sister, and he's standing right behind her in this photo, and they're like 4, maybe, like 4 years old. And we were like, yo, no way. This is the craziest thing. Right. So we've had like our parents know each other because of this daycare. And then I guess we still didn't like connect like that. And then we catch the same bus and still didn't connect. And then this random night when, it should be his prom night and he should be out with a date, he finds me.
Absolutely. And I'm not mad at that though. That's why the date is memorable for me. Like I don't have any hard feelings about not going to my prom. Like even if I went on my prom, I don't know if I would have had fun because I'm not the type to like, dance and stuff, At least back then I was, and now I enjoy it. But, I would have been having no fun. And I ended up meeting the person that would eventually become not only my wife, but the mother of my child also. So May 21st, 2006 is a very important day for me. And I remember it for that reason. So that's dope.
It's very cute.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. It's adorable. So that's how we met. Very long ago, 17 years ago. It's a long time to be with someone. We've been married for 11 years, going on 12 this year. Yeah. But it's been an interesting ride.
Yeah. Because I feel like we have had interesting relationship when I look back on it, because like the age we are now, we've already been married for so long,
Mm-hmm.
which I was like, man, we really did get married and like get together like very young.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like another part that makes our relationship interesting is that like we've worked together a lot. Like we
We have.
within a couple years or a year, we worked at the same summer camp, and that was like reoccurring every summer. And then we worked at Apple together,
Mm-hmm.
and we worked other various random things together. But we also are still working together because he's in the JGK with me, so we are to every event, everything.
Well, Davis Candle Company too. When that was
Davis, yeah, I knew it was other stuff.
we
Yeah,
did
Davis
pop-ups
Camp.
together. I've been to
Yep,
your photography shoots together.
yep.
We have, in a sense, been inseparable. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's been. I mean, we got to learn about each other, and I think that's something that most couples don't really get a chance to do. Like they get together, they date, they get married, but like we met each other when we were very young.
Yeah.
18.
Right.
Also, let me rewind again because it's funny about when we first met each other.
Oh gosh.
What are you talking
Chinese store.
about? What was
My afro. Oh.
Wasn't gonna bring that up, but now I'm gonna bring it up. All right, so
Oh goodness.
as we mentioned, like our houses were around the corner from each other, so we probably crossed paths multiple times, going to the same stores and stuff. So this one time, like, I had met Joy at this point. I think this is after we already hung out because the next day she did come over to my house. Not like that, but came over to hang out,
Like the very next day.
Very next day. She's walking down the street with her friend that was with her that night. And, we walked to GameStop. One of my things when we were younger is me and my homies would always walk everywhere. And Joey thought we were weird because I was like, you want to walk to GameStop with me? Or was it Walgreens? I can't remember where exactly we're going. But if you've been in Nicetown, North Philly, like walking from Erie Avenue to Hunting Park is a bit of a walk. But it's fun to me because, I like to walk. And we did that. And we had hung out a couple times. And the next time I saw her after that, man, I was just running to the Chinese store, right? And I didn't care what I had on. I was going to put on something real quick. So I just grabbed some clothes I had on the floor. At that time, I didn't give a damn. And looking back, I wish I had a different mindset, but I didn't care. So I put on this.
It was funny.
It's funny to me now. I put on this tan Dickie set because back then that's what we wore. I don't know why, but my school uniform was like tan and gray. I can't even tell you what school uniform was. Anyway, I put on this tan Dickie set, matching shirt, back and pants, wrinkled as hell. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to the Chinese store. I'll be right back. Right? I don't care who I see. Like, it's whatever. I pull up to the Chinese store. She's standing at the window ordering her food. And she looks at me and she goes, Brandon? And in my head, I'm like, damn, not her. Not right now. And then she starts, wow. I'm getting there. I'm like, hey, what's up, Joy? Hey, trying to get my food like chicken on a stick. I don't know what I ordered then, but chicken on a stick. She used to get on the I used to order cheeseburger from the Chinese store, but they used to be fire.
I didn't know it was a thing. Or so, chicken on a stick.
I go with what's cheap, and at the time a cheeseburger was like $1, and chicken on a stick was also $1. But anyway, I come to get my food. I see her. She looks good at that point because she's been out. And then she shares this good news with me. She's like, hey, I got a car. And I was like, oh, you did? She was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right over there. It's parked there. It's a gold Kia Rio. And
I was hyped.
She was hype. And I was like, oh, snap. I was like, okay, I see you. And she was like, yeah, that's my new car. Maybe I'll pull up or whatever. And I'm like, all right. Cool. I'm over there embarrassed. I'm wrinkled as hell. Like when I tell you wrinkled as hell, like there's nothing creased in this shirt. It's just all wrinkles.
Yo, it was like
as if it was balled up.
Then you put rubber bands around it.
So that was embarrassing. So I'm going home. I'm doing the walk of shame. I'm like, oh man, I can't believe this girl I'm feeling just saw me like that. Oh, I should have been cleaner. Should have been fresher. I ain't had no haircut. I don't think. I was like, man, that's a terrible impression. Fun fact. The next day, I'm walking to the dollar store that's on the corner on a different street. And now that I know Joey got this car, I seen him like, that's dope. I see this car coming down the street and it stops at the stop sign on the corner. I look and Joy's mom is driving, but Joy's in the passenger seat. When I met her, she had these braids in. And these braids were like black and blue and whatever. That's probably another reason I liked her because black and blue are my favorite colors. And this girl that's sexy was wearing my favorite colors. But anyway. I see her now at the stop sign, and her hair is out.
Like
The braids out.
afro,
She got-
straightened, ready to get the braids in. It was like I got electrocuted.
yes, her hair was.
And I think I like slid down. I looked over and saw him and I was like,
She ducked. I'm at the stop sign. She's at the stop sign. She looks over, sees me. Her reaction is to duck.
it's like, shit, it's him. Of all people. Which makes me think we probably had passed each other so many times and just like, oh, he's cute, she's cute, whatever, let's keep going.
But now at this point, though, now we like feeling each other. So it's a very embarrassing moment for us both. But it's good, though.
But it eased it, yeah. It just made it funny because like back to back, we had those each, we saw each other like looking crazy.
Yeah, I love it, though. I love it.
And we were like, all right.
It was at that point I was like, all right, now I don't feel bad. Like, we even. So it's cool.
We even.
We even. So it's whatever. But, fast forward from then, keep in mind this stuff all happened in May. I graduated in June. My mom, my grandma, my boy Marston were coming. And then Joy was just jokingly, I had some extra tickets, I think, I can't remember. But Joy was jokingly like, oh, can I come to your graduation? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? So her friend come to my graduation. Because they were already in college. Joy was headed to her sophomore year in college.
All right.
I got flexible.
We got a year difference, okay? I finished my first year, yeah.
So, she was her sophomore in college, and I was like, oh. So she was already home for summer. And she's like, well, we got nothing to do, so let's go to your graduation. So they go to my graduation. I'm in the honor society, so I'm on the stage. And they say my name loud as ever, Joy. She's like, yeah. My mom and grandma and my homie not even that loud.
Right. Who is this girl?
The person I was sitting next to was like, who is this? And who is that? And I was like, oh, that's my girl. Confident as ever. He was like, oh, that's your girl. And I was like, yeah, she wasn't my girl yet, but I was my girl though. And I was like, that's my girl. And it was dope. It was dope though. I was excited about it. And it's a memory I have of you, a fantastic memory of you.
I've always been in your corner hyping you up. Told you since the moment I met you.
You know what? You did say that.
I've been there.
You did say that. We've been having some conversations lately about how, she's been in my corner. She has, and I appreciate you for that. And that's why today I want to highlight you. Okay, so that's enough about how we met and all that. Let's get to the nitty gritty about.
Oh, but real quick, at my college graduation,
this is
when I went up to get my whatever. Is it a diploma there?
It's a degree.
Lord Jesus. When I walked up to get my degree, Brandon yells out, I'ma marry that girl. And everybody in the day was like, oh. It was really cute. It's like he returned the favor years later.
Funny, yeah. So Joy graduated college on my birthday. May 1st,
yeah.
2015. 2015? That's
2010.
Sure. This is, are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
You gonna age me 5 years and ask me if I'm sure?
You're right. My bad.
I graduated high school in 2005. I was a fifth year senior for college, 2010.
I apologize.
That's why I like numbers, 5'10". I won't remember.
Interesting, 5'10". And if you reverse the 10, it's the 1. That's my birthday, the day you graduated. Anyway.
You're going to make my brain explode.
501. But anyway. She graduated on my 21st birthday. All right, now we got to share this story also. Damn. All right. So she graduated on my birthday. So I flew out there. I used to work for this airline called Lufthansa, and I had a free flight. They give out free flights every year for the holidays. And I had this free flight anywhere in the country. And I used that free flight because I was broke. to go to. But it's fine, though. Because we like Pittsburgh. We enjoy Pittsburgh. It was between Atlanta or Pittsburgh when we decided on moving because we really enjoyed it there. So I fly there, we do the graduation. I did shout that because at the time, I don't know, were we engaged at the time? I don't think we were engaged at the time.
Yeah, we were.
We were? Okay.
Yeah.
Time. And I
was engaged before I graduated. I remember. Okay.
Well, you said 2010. We got married in 2011, so never mind.
Yeah, we got engaged in 2008, I think, or 2009.
It was 2008. It was 2008, yeah. Christmas Day, 2008. I think I shared that story. I don't want to go into that one. But anyway, So it's my 21st birthday. We had two things to celebrate, right? I had just turned old enough to drink, and Joy had just graduated college.
Yeah.
So me, Joy, my homie Jason, and I think that was it. But I think Lainey was with us too. I can't recall, or maybe it was Jazz.
So.
I can't remember. But someone else was with
I think
us.
it was Jazz. Yeah.
We went to a bar. I had my first drinks, and I did not handle it well. Something was said. I don't know, it was like a disagreement or something. And I was like, I'm going home. So I start running, I think. Like
you
down
just,
towards that, like.
No, it's more just like a forward fast stumble.
I started moving, like, in the wrong direction as a drunk person should. And all I know is my boy Jason Chase like, Brandon, what are you doing, man? You can't go nowhere, yo. And I was like, no,
where are you going?
I'm going home, yo. I'm in Pittsburgh. I'm just go home. I was done. It was a very embarrassing moment for me, but it's a good laugh though, because we were just out celebrating, having a good time. So
yeah, you ain't doing nothing crazy.
I know crazy. It was just me being dumb. Like, I'm going home, just drunk, and then I had my homie run after me down the block. Like, what? He's like, where's Brandon going? Funny story. But anyway, like I was saying, like, you know, we've been knowing each other for a long time, and if there's anyone that I want to, you know, dive deep on, is you, because we've experienced some things within these 17 years.
Yes.
So tell us about Joy. Tell us.
Oh Lord.
About you. You know, because you Amber hinted to it the last episode. You've had your hands in so much. You've done so much. Like, how did that all come about? How does that all encompass what you ultimately are about?
So I just really, Joy is a master creative, a super creative. I like to make things. Whenever I think about it, I always tell a story of being in third grade and being put in this poetry after school program. Sorry. And that I guess that's just like my earliest memory of like falling in love with like creating something, which was like, you know, we learned how to write a simile, and like I know one of my things is like, this rose is as red as my coat. Like, we made a book of like all the different forms of like poetry and things that you can make and haikus and stuff. And it was just like random stuff. But I loved it so much that I went home, and during school, every day after school, I would just fill notebooks of these random poems, and just like literally nonstop. Like, I thought I was obsessed with like a light in the attic. So I just thought I was Shell. I thought I could write all these poems and even try and do the little animate like illustrations next to it to like go with the poem, try and make them funny poems. And this was me in like, you know, third grade. And it's just like, as I grew up, like the poetry side never really left me. I mean, until I graduated college, I still don't consider it like it left me, because it just kind of morphed into other creative things. But from that like third grade poetry group, it just kind of builded writing. I just loved it. And, you know, I felt like I was like dealing with stuff at home. It was like my escape of like stress and, you know, anything that was going on. If it was like my parents arguing or whatever, I just go in my room and write like, oh, this is hilarious. And I guess it was like me putting myself in another world, so to speak. So that, and then I was in a summer camp where we learned how to make candles. And it was literally like, you take a string, you tie a knot at the end, and you just keep dipping it in a thing of wax, and it just grows and grows and grows until it's like the thickness you want. You cut it and you have a candle. So I always remembered that, loved to do that. Fast forward. My cousin Lee used to work for this camp called Paradise Farm Camps. And I was like, and he told me about it. He was like, oh yeah, cause if you want a job during the summer, you could just come here and like literally you just live out in the woods, take care of the kids. And the first 3 summers I was there, like every summer during college, I worked there. I was arts and crafts specialist. So I taught them how to make candles, and it was just so rewarding to me to go full circle, because another thing that we did when I was in, literally my brain had stockpiled all these things from when I was a camper myself, and I literally made it with these kids. Totally different camp and everything. But it's just like I remember, like we used to make
So,
ice cream. Yeah,
oh, that was my favorite class. I
yeah.
remember.
We used to make ice cream, and I made ice cream when I was younger as a counselor, like putting the cream and sugar and stuff in the Ziploc bag, and then putting the rock salt, and then putting it in a coffee tin with the lid, and they would just shake it, toss it, all this stuff. You open it, you have ice cream. So I did
Still
that with the
remember it.
kids. Yep, still remember it. And dang, what was the other thing? Oh, two more things. It was
Fuse bees was another one.
the fuse beads. Yep. Then you
Mhm.
iron it. The kids love that. And
She made me a
yep,
Batman symbol in the first year she worked at
yep.
the yeah. I didn't work the first year with her, but when we met, she had worked there that summer, and she made me a Batman fuse bead, and I wore it like the chain and shit. So it was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I had a
It
thing
was
for
just
the
like that
whole.
back there.
Yep, yep. So, just like I just always loved making things. And then in college, I was writing. I thought I wanted to go to school to be a obstetrician gynecologist, but I realized, dang, there's a lot of math and a lot of science to get this degree, and that is not for me. So it's like, what else do you like to
Yo,
do, girl? Right. Like, I didn't know what it would lead to financially, and it was like I kind of didn't care. It was just like it was to me, I was like, this is my time to get my creative juices flowing and like really take advantage of this platform of having professors like Lori Jaquila and Judith Vollmer. And they are like still people I remember because they're like great writers. And Brian Estat, he was like my journalism professor. And these are people that really let me explore, let me be on the paper and put my photography and articles in the paper.
mhm.
I was ahead of the writing series with Lori Jaquila, so she would let me like write a little bio, announce the writers as they came on, greet them, and I was super nervous up there, like, our next person is this is a great writer. Like I was so nervous, but I still did it, and that's like probably like my little hero story is like I'm scared with everything I do, everything I create. If it's something that's going to the public, like I freak out bad, but it's like I'm still gonna put it out there. Even if it takes me a moment, even if I'm crying up to that moment, like I'm still gonna put it out there and see how it's, perceived. And usually it's perceived really well. Like when I
People love her.
like when I did photography, I did really well with that. And I had like reoccurring clients and things. And then making the candles, people still talk about the candles. So I'm about to
You were just
re-release
mentioned that
that.
last episode.
Yeah.
You know?
Um, and there's still so much I want to do. Like for some reason, like the last at least 5 years, carpentry, like I just really want to make things. I want to make bookshelves and a desk and like things like that. Maybe even have like a line of it one day and, just design things because I just feel like I have a unique perspective on like how I want things to look. I can be very, I'm a goofy kind of silly person. I don't know how the world perceives me, but internally I'm very like analytical and very, I could be like a very like A-type personality when it's with my like art. Like I don't play around. I get very serious and very passionate over it. So um I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, I guess that's a summary of everything. I don't think I've been in anything new with creativity. Like I like to do makeup and stuff too. So
I mean,
it's
so
like
I will say one thing. That one thing that I'm trying to empower Joy to live more in, and that's more like the freeness of her personality. And that's one of the things I fell in love with, right? Like when I said I met you, you had blue and black hair, and most girls didn't have that. And, to me, that made you unique, which is like nowadays you have green hair. Most women don't walk around with that. And it's like, I love that about you because it's
I love
unique.
my green hair.
And Joy often wonders, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but Joy often, worries about what people think about that. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's you. It's
Yeah.
you. And I want you to be you. And if being you means walking around with grring locks, I think it's sexy as hell. And I want you to keep doing it. because
Right.
it's actually
And you'll be like, you work for yourself. Who are you answering to? And I'm like, the
exactly.
people. I need them to support and
First of
buy
all,
things.
some of
If they're like, oh, that girl is so weird. Like,
the
why
customers
would
we
I
have
walk
had
up to her booth? I don't know.
the
Yeah.
customers we have had are unique.
And
So
that's one thing that made me really like embrace it. Like, it's like I found my tribe. People, they support me. Like, no one has judged me like I thought they would. Like, I have piercings. I have, stretched ears. These are just things that I like. So
exactly, and
you are like the perfect partner to help with things like that. Like, oh, I want to get my nose pierced. I still have my tongue pierced. Like, I used to have my eyebrow piercing early in our relationship. These are just things that like I'm attracted to, and you didn't fight me on it. It's
I'm
just
attracted
like,
to it. What you mean?
yeah, you be like, let your freak flag fly. Let your freak
Big flag
flag
fly.
fly.
Alliteration, people. It can be difficult. Tongue twisters.
Bruh, yeah.
But no, I love that about you, right? And I love the fact that you are creative. That's one thing. Like, okay, fun thing about me, I also used to write. It was one thing I really enjoyed. When I had met Joy, I was actually working on this fiction book on my computer, and like it crashed. And at the time, I was not a tech nerd, so I didn't know how to fix it. I let somebody try to fix my hard drive, and then they lost it, and then I'm screwed. But it was whatever. It was like a nerdy series I worked on, and I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoy writing, and like the things I just mentioned about Joy, like her freeness, or what I was attracted to. Then I found out she was creative, and then I found out writing is not the only creative channel that she has. I've seen her do everything from decorating, all of it. And now this is the point I really want to highlight, is the fact that now she's living in being a chef. She is now
I didn't
chef.
even mention that. What the
You
heck?
did not, but it's fine. That's what I'm here for. She is now Chef Joy, owner and operator of Joy's Green Kitchen, of a vegan experience, vegan fare with flair. That's what I like to put it. All right. So, talk to us about that. How did that come to be? Actually, I feel like, did you already touch on that with the JD? I don't know if you did with Chef JD Bird episode, but I feel either way, give us a summary of how that came.
Okay. So, I really want to go vegan. Our friend Ellen, she used to work with us at the Apple store, and she's older and very healthy, very full of energy, very bright, fun, bubbly, all the things. Like, she's just great. And I used to say, like, what gives you all this oomph? And seeing her diet, like quinoa, what's quinoa?
Mm-hmm.
Just so many things that she experienced me to. Yeah, like she really was my stepping stone to like launching, like, and being passionate about going vegan, because seeing her and all the like healthier choices she was making, and like snacks she would bring, here, try this. It's a kale chip or something. I'm like, oh, dope.
She had some bomb snacks. I was like,
She always had like top snacks, and then she'd like at the end, and it's vegan. And I was like, okay. So if all these snacks are vegan and they're good, then maybe like I could get into it. And I was experiencing health issues. I have scoliosis, so I have a curved spine at the lower part of my back, and other things that we had talked about, like endometriosis and PCOS, those sort of things. So I started diving into research and found out that some people that have those things do take on a plant-based diet, because it would eliminate things like the inflammation of having chronic pain, and lowering like impact of your joints and things like that. So just all these great benefits, the more energy, the also, like, I'm like a hippie. So saving the planet, helping the animals was like also like, hell yeah.
absolutely. We love animals.
Yeah. So it sounded perfect for me, but Brandon was not with it at first. He fought me.
I did fight her on this.
He fought me for a while, maybe a couple years, honestly, because it didn't happen until we moved to Georgia.
Yeah. Because when I met her, she was a vegetarian. She was a vegetarian.
Well, pescatarian. I ate seafood.
Pescatarian. Yeah. And I unfortunately bullied her into...
And I was a pescatarian from 7th grade until after college, I think.
Yeah, it was when we moved in.
So it was a very long time.
And that's my fault, because I was still eating chicken and stuff. And then
I know. I was like, well, dang, I'm tired of making 2 different meals. Give me that chicken. So then it was like a series of, I don't know, 7, 8 years where I was back eating chicken and turkey. And then a few years down that line, we went vegan. So yeah, so once like one day I was like, he's not joining me. I went to the grocery store, bought all these vegan stuff. I was like, I'm gonna just do it myself. But something was like, just ask him one more time. So I was like, look, I'm going vegan like tomorrow when I wake up, like I'm going to be eating vegan. And then this was a time where he was like, all right, I'll try it. Maybe you saw like the initiative of me like actually buying these things and bringing it home. I don't know, but you actually said yes.
It was exactly that. It was sexy. It was like, you called me. She was in the car and she was like, I'm about to go to the store and I'm only buying groceries that are vegan. And I'm going vegan tomorrow. And I was like, damn, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I give it a shot. You know, I was like, I don't know how to cook vegan, so you like to cook. And she was like, that's fine. And she went shopping, came back, cool. And then that night, what made me be like, I can be vegan, she made this 7-layer black bean burger. When I tell you, this burger was everything, yo.
You literally were like, all right, if I could eat like this all the time, I don't mind going vegan, like from that one meal that I haven't made before or since, but I will make it again. We got to make it.
That was the only time she ever made this burger. Only time. And it was phenomenal. It was several different layers of color and flavor.
Yeah, it had all the toppings, the black bean, the sour cream, cheese, all the.
I was over here like, all right, I could do this. And then like the next day she made this spinach and artichoke dip. Not the next day exactly, but a couple of days later, she made this baked sweet potato with spinach and artichoke dip. And I was sitting there like, all right, this is also fire. I was like, okay. So then a week went by and here we are 5 years later and we're vegan. Still, because
we did it like 4 days or something before Christmas.
Yeah, before Christmas. That's
so I was like, I feel crazy right now, but I was like, I know the holidays are coming up, but I just don't want to wait. So I learned to make everything vegan that year. Like within like 4 days of being vegan, we had
December 22nd.
Christmas.
December 22nd, 2017 is our vegan anniversary. We celebrate it every year. And, you know, it's great. It's fantastic. And I also did it because I know that when someone's trying to achieve a goal, it's easier to do together. Like if I was still doing what we were doing, that would have deterred you because I would have made something fire that was chicken and you would have been like, can I have a little piece? You know, like moments of weakness will happen and stuff like that. And it takes a solidarity. And I'm here for it. You know, it changed our lives. Look at us. We look better. We feel better than we were back then.
Yeah. Struggling with the fertility issues.
Exactly.
We have our baby. So
we tried for so long to have a baby. And then now we have a healthy baby girl, a smart baby girl. And it's like our lives are so different. Who would have thought, you know, a few years ago that we'd be trying to open a vegan restaurant, you know? That's crazy. So we came a long way. And you know, I'm glad that I didn't fight you on that decision that day because it changed our lives. It changed our lives for the better. This is kind of free, Paul. You know, it's just you and I. I feel like we can talk about anything. The next thing I want to talk about is let's talk about recent events with us. So I don't get all nervous with that. So something else we tried recently that we're sticking to is while we've been vegan for years, we also learned about the bad things as a vegan, like the vegan snacks that we enjoy. We don't indulge in them often, but we enjoy them here and there. So we decided to go a more healthy route recently. And we bought a juicer maybe like a year ago. We used it, but we didn't really dive in. But lately we've been doing juicing. And that's something we, again, decided to do as a group, as a family even, because Love also enjoys.
Oh, man. She's all about the process of it. And, you know, we peel all the fruit together, cut it all. We do it all on the dining room table. So I have like a little peeling station and she's over there helping him push the fruit into the machine. And she turns the machine on and off when we need her to. Yeah. She's like fully invested in making these juices, which is so cute. I
picked her the other day, and I had the orange juice that I had made. I made a juice while she wasn't with us, and I had this orange juice, and I saved some because I wanted her to try it. She tried it.
That was so good.
She was like, "Yummy juice," and then she was like, "Grandma, I made juice," and I showed you know, Joy's parents the time lapse, and they were like, "Oh, because it's cool." It's like her peeling, her cutting, me cutting, her trying new fruits for the first time. She had kiwi for the first time, pineapple, apples. She was snacking on top of juice, and it was fun.
And learning, because she already knows so many fruits. Like, she knew it was a kiwi because she has it in her little play test kitchen, and that helped her identify like all these fruits too. Mommy pineapple, mommy apple, mommy this, or like just showing us stuff, because like just her memory is ridiculous. Like, seriously, since the time she was maybe like 8 months, like she could recall things like so easily, which is great. And like, yeah, fruits or things she tastes that she like, the color of things, everything. Like, and just to segue from that really quick, like, there was a stigma of vegan children and what they're exposed to, and they're skinny and frail and all that, and like, it's not the case. Like, her mind, she's so creative, like, already, like she'll put like a potato, her fake potato on straw. Mommy, it's a potato berry or something. I'm like, wow, that's very smart, baby. That's so cool. I like that. I like your potato berry. So like, and just like the way her mind works, and she'll sing a song, but she'll say twinkle, twinkle, little daddy or something, and switch our names in songs and sing all day. And then with her health, like, she doesn't have any health issues. She's very strong, like, for real.
Because I eat a lot of protein, and she eat a lot of protein.
Yeah, and like you were saying, even my dad the other day was shocked that she had lift something up, because like, she's very strong. And then she go, Mommy, I'm strong. Yeah. So yeah, and when she goes to the doctors, like, she's good, she's perfect and beautiful and just amazing. So even if you don't want to put your kids on like a vegan path or anything, just lower things that sugar calories, eating more fresh fruit. Yeah, don't try not to eat things where everything is processed. Like, if it's rice, and where these beans come from, and it's veggies, then you have a meal, and it's less processed, because where all these items come from, and then you give that to your child, and it just gives you more peace of mind that, all right, this rhubarb, pluta, plapa, whatever ingredient is in there, we don't know what that is. Why should she be eating it? Red 40 and yellow 5 or whatever, all these things. And they've been linked to childhood cancers. Why would I give my child this sugary juice that has both of those in the ingredient? Like, so we have just been more conscious about ourselves and what we eat. And, I'm still a thick girl. And especially after the juicing, actually, that's going very well, because I lost a few pounds. So now I'm like back to the weight when I had her, which feels really good. So now I just want to drop more and tone it up and do all the things.
Yeah, Joy recently had her, the episode that she was on, or maybe one other episode, we talked about her experience in the gym. She enjoyed that. And now we're being more conscious of what we're doing. We're doing our juicing. And on top of that, a little bit of fasting too, because we just, we have our juice for breakfast, and we may not even have lunch sometimes, or we have lunch later the day. The other day we went out to eat at this vegan restaurant. We realized we ate a lot less than we normally do. Yeah. And we were like, oh, our stomach shrank, which is great. I
didn't know that was a thing, but yesterday you made me that breakfast sandwich, and I couldn't finish it. I was like, oh, I want to demolish this before it's too big to eat. Like,
shit, not for me. It was perfect.
So, yeah.
But a quick segue back to what you said about love and like being cautious of what she eats and what we give her. That's another benefit of being vegan, right? Like, we started paying attention more to the food that's on the shelves, because at first we had this app called Is It Vegan, where you can scan the barcode and it would tell you, and then it will show you what ingredients would not be considered vegan. But even then, it was like we started looking at what was in the items, and we would see just some things that just didn't need to be in it. Like, for example, I really liked Twizzlers, right? I still like Twizzlers to this day, because surprisingly they are vegan, but a lot of the ingredients are like unnatural chemical things. And then they made these new vegan Twizzlers. They're not made by Twizzlers, but there's some other brand, but they're like the flavor of Twizzlers, and they're vegan. They only have 5 ingredients, and it's like cornstarch, something like
tapioca,
flour. It's all these types,
and they use like beets or something.
Beets for the color, and instead of like versus red 40 and all the stuff you said, like that's in the Twizzler, this stuff only has like 5 ingredients, and it's vegan, and it's more natural. right? And I can, and then one, it's also lower in calories. I can have that whole bag and it'd be like 120 calories if I wanted to, like just, we pay more attention to what we eat. We're more conscious of it. And I love that. The other day we bought this banana milk, right? For the family, for the house, this banana almond milk. We think it's good. We love it. It's delicious. We gave it to Love. She was like, no. And
no, thank you. Water.
Her first response was water. She asked for water. And I thought that was shocking because, other kids would be like, can I get a juice box? But don't get me wrong. We give her a juice box. We give her the honest juice because the very first ingredient of that is water, followed by like the actual fruits that are in it. Right. So.
And some of them have veggies too, like juiced spinach or something like that. So
exactly, it's more natural, and it's just we just became more conscious about what we're putting into our bodies. And I think, like what Joy said earlier, with the ailments that she's had, or other people have had. Like we had Chef JD Bird on. We talked about how she was able to help cure herself through vegan. Like we are living proof of that. Like we were at one point in a position where like I went to get a physical before we were vegan, and they told me my cholesterol was kind of high, and I was on the cusp of going down a path that's not ideal, especially with family history and stuff, family members dealing with stuff. Like we didn't want to go down that path.
Yeah,
so
they told me I was pre-diabetic.
So but the beauty of it is going vegan and sticking with it. We have none of those ailments. We're no longer like at risk for that. And I love that for us and our family. I think it was definitely the right choice to make. So to stay on the trend of talking about vegan, we need to talk about Joy's Green Kitchen. Can I share a story of Joy's Green Kitchen that I think is funny? Okay.
It's your show, boo.
You know what? That's right. Let's do this. So Joy's Green Kitchen originally started as a blog. Like it wasn't a business. It wasn't even vegan at the time. It was just Joy cooking and posting because her favorite color is green. It's her kitchen. She was just posting food. But she used it to document her vegan journey. She was getting a buzz from it, The food looked bomb. She posted black bean burger, which I don't even know is still on your page. It might not be.
Oh, prize.
I'm going to have to scroll down to see because damn, it's so good. But anyway, she started posting, getting a buzz. Our friends were enjoying it. Like, wow, you're really doing this vegan thing. She was like, yeah, But then people that weren't friends started looking like, oh, where can I get this? Yeah. When that question came up, where can I get it? That's when the wheels started.
Regularly.
Like consistently.
Yeah, we worked at Apple, which had like 100 employees. So sometimes I would just bring a whole 12 dozen of cupcakes or, some meals. Yeah, I got this down in the break room, or here's some cake, or, oh, here's some vegan cheese. And they're like, seriously, like, when are you going to start selling this stuff? This is just too good. So that really turned it from a blog to okay, oh, you want to pay me this amount to make you some cake or something? All right.
So I get requests. And then here's the thing, though. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. Here's the thing. This one picture really blew up. Joy made some nachos one day. So at this point, we had discovered being vegan. At the time when we started, it was a lot less vegan items than there are now.
Even 5 years ago. Man.
Yeah. And it's like, we struggle finding certain things like good cheeses, good sour cream, what have you. And Joy found the sweet spot and found this cheese sauce recipe. She was just messing with stuff. And then she made this cheese sauce that was out of this world. It's still out of this world. We got the best vegan mac in the city, and I got the shirt to prove it. But anyway, she made this cheese sauce, so she made nachos. Nachos were fire. The photo she took is fire. Matter of fact, I think that is the photo that's on your billboard that we set up with.
To this day.
To this day. Every time people see it, like, yo, y'all got those nachos? But anyway, so person who's now one of our friends hit us up like, hey, I'm doing this vegan event. And I would like a vegan vendor there. And, if you want to serve your nachos, that'd be great. So we were nervous at first, but we were like, yeah, let's do it. Joy had gotten her LLC and all the other stuff at this point. So it was like, let's do it. We did this event. We made the food. We were up all night, maybe up all day up until the event. And we thought we packed everything, but we had left the cornbread. But we didn't realize we left the cornbread till we got there. We had set up shop, and I realized I realized the cornbread's gone, and I was like, Joy, do you want me to get it? Joy looked at me. She said this earlier, how like when she does things to put things out in the world, she gets really scared. But I've never seen her this terrified. She looked at me and was like, please don't go, or please don't let
I was like, please don't leave me.
And like, there was so much fear in her eyes. I was like, all right.
I was like, screw the cornbread, yo. Like, people were lining up. I can't
It
do
was
this
a
alone
line.
and do the food and then
It
take the
was a
money. And
line. Like, there was a long line of
it
people.
instantly got overwhelming. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like I had a panic attack for like a split second, and then it was like, "Zoop. All right, get it to go. Well, we got served this food." And then when we sold out, I remember them like, girl, it's a little cheese right there in the corner. Just scoop me that little bit of cheese. And I was like, this is hilarious. I was like, these people really checking for these nachos. And then from that event, they were like, when can we get the nachos again? When can we get this again? And to this day, we still hustling these nachos. And I haven't changed the cheese recipe or the sour cream recipe. Like, everything is still, from scratch, and it's still the same. And it's still, they still rocking with it.
They love it. And that's fantastic, right? To the point where we had gotten such a buzz. We had done so many events to this point. Another person who ran that event reached out to us, and this was like a big vegan festival they were putting together. But then on top of that, they were like, oh, and you're going to be featured on the news. So we were featured on CBS 48. I don't know what it is down here, but CBS. And, they asked us about our journey being vegan. They asked us like what Joy makes. And at this time, Joy had the seafood salad, which Tabitha Brown had. Let me rewind to that. So there was there's event in Atlanta called the Atlanta Village Market. It's basically like Black businesses. They get together. They create like a Black shopping experience. There's people that sell. I got a beard oil from these people at one point. And Joy had the food, and she's one of the food vendors. So in the food hall, Joy had made like seafood mac and cheese. She made the seafood
crab cake. Tabitha got my crab cakes and then seafood salad.
Yeah, and this is the first time she ever made the seafood salad. The first time she ever made it, she was like, "Yo, I love seafood. I want to try it." We call it veganizing, and it's whatever, but that's what we do. We veganize things we like. Enjoy it for the first time. Veganize seafood salad, and I didn't know who Tabitha Brown was at the time, so I'm sitting there busting it up with her, and I sold her the seafood salad. We talking. I'm like, "Yeah, you what you like? Let me get two." Matter of fact, gave her two.
I wasn't there at this moment to see her even buy it.
She wasn't, because Joy was busy. Like, she was over there serving the mac and cheese and building platters, whatever else was going on. So I'm always working the crowd at these events because I don't know. It's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm not the food.
But I think I had turned around or something, and I saw her walking our way, and I was like, that's Tabitha Brown. And I think you were like, oh, yeah, she just bought 2 seafood salads. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, right.
And then on her own accord, I get a tag in the message. I go on Instagram, and it's her talking about some Joy's Green Kitchen, like that, and just talking about tastes like it's from the sea, but it ain't. Just going in about the seafood salad. And I'm like, no way,
and
no.
the follower account just started going up.
Yeah, and this was before she's anywhere near as huge as she is now. Absolutely. She was just doing like just short little video clips like, oh, I taste this. But she had got big from doing that TTLA Whole Food sandwich, like right before or after this video.
This before.
So I just, oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, I caught on like to her very early. That's why I recognized her walking up. She called her hair Donna. Donna was still in Donna's little baby phase, and now Donna is out there flourishing. When people are like, oh, I recognize that's her, when they look at the video, I'm like, oh, it's because her hair is different. She's a little different. It's years ago. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she did that on her own accord, and it blew up my Instagram, and then I got followers from that, and then years down the line, I got to cook for Kevin on Stages. He put a show out called What's Good on his app. Mm-hmm. And it was the seafood salad. I made them fried oyster mushroom sliders, and I think that might have been it. So that's on his app platform right now still. So you can check that out. Kevin on Stage Studios.
Shout out to Kevin.
So that brought people my way, and they were like, oh my God, I just saw you in the app. That looks so good. So that brought people. And then I have had like the luck of being able to cook for like celebrities here and there, like NLE Choppa. He would hit me up like, all right, can you make some of this? Or can you got some food for me or something like that? And then which is crazy now because he's getting big too. And to know that he would just like hit me up. And now he got a song with Lil Wayne. I'm like, good for you, NLE.
Also, there would be celebrities popping up at events that we did too. Like we did one at the food truck park back in the day. Jermaine Dupri pulled up, tried the food.
Yep, Slim Jimmy.
Slim Jimmy tried it. We did this black music festival, this jazz festival. The mom, I don't know her name, but the mom that played, the woman that played
Black Lightning.
Lightning came up. We had like a state senator come up to one of our events and try the food and love it. And it's just like we just kept getting such good feedback to the point where like, wow, we really have something, right? And nowadays, like we do events, people, the last Meatless Monday we did, we were almost sold out within the first hour. Like there was a line of people. It went extremely fast. And it's because the food is consistently good. There's so much that Joy makes from scratch. Like Joy says she likes to create. And if there's any realm of cooking that requires creativity, it's being vegan, because you have to manipulate textures, flavors, and like from items that you just wouldn't think make this. And it's so much creativity from it. I love it.
And that's a really fun part for me. Like, I say, like, you know, I do a lot of transitional meals because a lot of my clients aren't vegan. A lot of them are considering it. A lot of them are vegan, but they miss the old thing. So I would make like vegan chicken and dumplings. I have vegan ribs, the vegan seafood salad, like, and then we'll make up things like we have a lentil grain bowl. But we like to do things that are, it's going to make you think of what you had, but be like, yo, this is vegan for real, like all of it. And they're like, yeah. So that mind blown moment that they have, or if they taste something at the pop up and they close their eyes and they just like, yo,
we had one girl.
I like live for those moments.
We had one girl do a sermon on Joy's peach cobbler cake. Like that's and it's another creativity thing, right? Peach cobbler. Joy had always talked about how she wanted to make a peach cobbler. And I'm like, I don't like baked goods with fruit in it. So if it has fruit in it, I'm not a fan. But she was raving about doing that. She's not going to just make it for me, so she made it for her clients. But then she didn't want to do the crust because the crust would have to take some time. So then she had the genius idea of making a peach cobbler cake. This girl did a sermon on it. She came back, did a praise dance and everything. Girl, this peach cobbler cake is all that. We got a video of it. We got to post it at one point. But, you know, it's like.
And the crazy part about it. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying the crazy part about that is that the following week she had the pineapple upside down cake. She was like, girl, this is even better than the peach cobbler. And I'm like, after the reaction you gave then, how could it be better? Right. So she was like, girl, but people like to tell us, I'm not this cocky, but they're like, yo, you never miss. You're like one of the best vegan chefs in the city. You got the best mac and cheese. So we're just hitting a stride. Like, we've tested out our recipes. We know what the people like. And they also like us because we adapt. Like Meatless Mondays, I would bring my curry with just white rice. And they're like, you know, why don't you do brown rice? It's healthier. And then I'm like, cool. And then some people are like, no, I don't want rice. So now I bring brown rice and quinoa. So I'm listening to the people, I'm adjusting to what they want and making sure that, you know, it still stays fun. I bring a different menu every Monday. So it's given me like, they've essentially been my own test kitchen because I know what they like. I've taken their feedback. They tell me that the food's consistent. So I know that I'm, you know, doing the right thing of when it comes time to have a menu for a restaurant, everything's tried and true. So that feels really good. Seeing the people come every Monday and then they bring a friend or they're on the phone with someone. Okay. And what do you want? And they're getting 2 or 3 meals and let me get a dessert and let me get a side of greens or a side of mac. And I'm like, oh crap, this is just amazing. So we're in a very good spot right now, but it's like, we're just pivoting the business because we got to do more than just Meatless Mondays. So we're going to be taking on a lot of fun things to really jazz up JGK, and you're just going to see so much from us. It's a good time. It's a good time. It's a good time for us to, you know, do all the things that people are really liking that like we can do in our kitchen, like make the cheesesteaks and all that stuff. It's good. It's gonna be a good time.
It's been fun growing with it from that pop up we started where you were terrified of the cornbread to where we're at now. Yes. It's been fun, you know, and we've always been there together. Like Joy even said one day, if they know me, they know you.
Yeah,
Someone had
like
reached out to her.
literally.
Someone had reached out to her and mentioned me. I was like, how they know about me? She was like, they know me, they know you. And I'm like, oh, that's true. That's true.
Seriously.
And it's like, Batman and Robin, clearly, Robin. But hey, nah, we have fun. We have fun. So yeah, I wanted to have you want to highlight that. Is there anything you want to highlight specifically about yourself that you feel like people should know? All right. So to get through the
I
awkward.
can't think of anything.
I can. I can. Joy struggles with sharing more of herself with people, right? And that's something that we decided that she needs to work on. And she enjoys being on my show, so she has her own show coming too.
Oh, duh, forgot.
Yeah, there you go. She done forgot what she got going on. The reason she has a mic also is because she'll be starting her own podcast called
Green hair don't care. Green
Yeah.
hair don't care.
Yeah. So it's a way of her to put herself out there and have her own guests and her own talk show because she has some interesting views on things some might disagree with. But she's going to share them.
Like dinosaurs, did they really exist? Yes or no? It's a little sus.
I'll let her dive into that more because I'm trying to convince this woman. But look, to be honest, it's a good question though, right? Because we don't know for sure. It's just so happened they found a full bone that's shaped like a skull of a giant dinosaur. But maybe they put that
Somebody
together.
could put that there.
Uh-huh.
Somebody could have carved that out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, moving on. Let me live.
Nah, so yeah, she's gonna have that. Of course, Joyce Green Kitchen is gonna do nothing but go up, up, up. The one thing we really want next,
manifest that.
The real one thing we really want is a full on brick and mortar restaurant, right? We want a place where people can find us consistently because they always ask, "Where are you gonna be next? Where are you gonna be next? What's the next thing on the thing?" Like I said, we have regulars. There's people that pull it every Monday, but like, you want greens with that, right? They're like, yep. You want this too, yeah. Like I know what they like now to the point they don't even have to do it. Sometimes they switch it up, but that's great. But the thing is, Joyce Green Kitchen is going to continue to grow. We had to find a way to, get the people what they want. Physical location, we're working on that. So the reason I say that, put that out there, is because we're looking for people in our network to offer some, support, whether it's you get a heads up on a location in Atlanta or something. We're looking for our community to,
or any funding tips. Send it to me. Grant options.
Because we're looking into all of it right now to
all of the things
where we want to grow. So because we're gonna make it happen. Because one episode previously, it was just me and you bantering. But one thing we want to do is we dream, right? We have dreams of things that we want. We want different businesses down the line that we talk about. We're not going to share now because we want people to steal these ideas. But, we want things down the line. And the first thing we want is Joyce Green Kitchen. The day we can open those doors, I know people will love it because they love it now. And it doesn't have doors yet. So it should be fantastic.
I mean, our kitchen has a little pickup window. Y'all gonna see us more from there coming soon.
Absolutely, yes. We're gonna have we're gonna have our own makeshift restaurant for a little bit, and I like that. There's one thing I do want to talk about though, and maybe we should say this for your podcast, but Joy. Actually, I think you touched the last episode with JD, whatever. But Joy has a spiritual belief about spirits. And she shared a story about with me one time where she may have encountered a spirit. Do you want to share that story?
Oh gosh, that's so random, man. You going in making them think I'm weird as hell?
No, okay. I think it's funny. You can share it, and we're gonna go out on that.
All right. So when I was younger, in North Philadelphia, if you're not from Philly, like most homes, they're row homes. Like you will have another house touching yours on either side, and it's like just stacks like that. Everyone's touching. So
there's no space in between, no yards.
On my block, it used to be like we were almost to the corner. So it was like my family, and then it was my cousin Jessica and them, and then my cousin Sonia and them. So it's like us in 3 houses right next to each other. So In my house, when I went up into my closet, I don't know how this started, when it ended, but there was like a little cutout thing. And I guess to me, I would travel through that little cutout area and end up on the other side of the house, which I would assume would be next door. And it wasn't my cousin Jessica's house, though. It was a very old looking house with a Caucasian woman who smoked a lot of cigarettes. And we would sit there and chat sometimes. Like,
Look, that's why I want you to share this story.
Like, it was like, I don't know, maybe like a 60s or a 70s looking, like if you think old ugly wallpaper and weird little lamps and stuff like that. And I feel like maybe at the time, like she was just always in her room, like just chilling and smoking, like, hey Carol, what's up? What you been up to? I don't know. We would just have like conversations and stuff, and then I crawl back through my closet and then I'm back in my house. So I don't know. I don't think I ever.
You travel to an alternate dimension where instead
something
of in that house, it was this lady, and y'all would just have conversations. So when she first told me the story, I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, "Ooh, that's weird." I still think it's weird,
but
it's so tangible to her. Like,
I don't even know if my parents know this story.
The way that she just recalled it, she recalls it that way every time, verbatim. And I'm like, okay, maybe this actually happened because, like, you recall it perfectly.
I don't know. I was weird. Maybe I just sat in the closet and imagined. But why would I imagine? You know, at that age, this house of a very specific era. Like, I don't know any family members' house that looked like that. I didn't know, you know, this is North Philly. I didn't know like many Caucasian people at the time. So it's like, and the only similarity to that story is my grandmother lived in this house and she did smoke and we would chat while she smoked. But this was just completely different. Like, my grandma would like only smoke in the bathroom. And even though I was a kid, it's bad, but I was sneaking there and like sit on the edge of the tub and talk to her and be like, yeah, this is me and grandma time. We just talking and stuff.
And at the time, secondhand smoke was not something we were like.
Yeah, thank God I don't have asthma or nothing now. But like, yeah, that was got crazy to think about now. But going into my closet, like the little left corner of my closet and going into this like completely different, it was laid out exactly like Jessica's house, which is another thing that makes me think maybe this lady lived there before, in the 60s or 70s or whatever. And I never stopped to look it up to see if some, you know, old smoker lady actually lived there before they had the house. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing crazy that really happened. Like,
ain't nothing crazy.
No, yeah, I never thought it was a ghost. I don't know what I thought. I guess it was because every time I recall the story or you make me tell someone, they're like, you ever have any interaction with spirits? And I'm like, no, it's just a lady in the closet. I don't know, man.
It's a very strange story, but I had it in my notes that that's something we needed to talk about on the show. I appreciate you sharing that with us. So let us know if you're listening to this. I want you to, if you're on YouTube, comment what you think, you know, her experience was about. If you
have a similar experience or something, like we could get like an episode together and just share.
Absolutely, I would love that.
Supernatural stories and stuff.
That'd be a great episode for your podcast and for this too. I'm curious. You know, I'm just gonna throw that out here. If you have ever had an interaction with a spirit, please email me at kickingitwithbshow@gmail.com.
When you said that, I got a text on the computer, scared the crap out of me. If you ever had an interaction with a spirit, ding!
Oh, that. That's hilarious, yo.
It's just my mom.
Oh, good. Oh, we gotta go pick up our baby girl. So
yeah.
So let's wrap this up. You know, it's been an interesting and fun 17 years with you. You know, marriage and partnership through life has its ups and downs. But, I wouldn't want to do it anyone else. I'm glad I said what I said to you that day. You pulled up because I didn't
You
know.
shot.
I did. It worked. It worked. Oh,
And
what's
we,
that? But it worked.
what? Oh,
No, it's not important, but it worked. And I'm grateful that I appreciate you being my partner in life.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd say that. I was like, don't embarrass me on my show. I love you too.
I appreciate you.
How did you do that? Wait. Oh, there we go.
Try and get a cute one. Hold on.
There we go. I did it. We're making hearts with our hands. But thank you for being on the show. Thank you for
You're welcome.
And,
You're welcome.
Joy's Green Kitchen, Chef Joy, Handler Joy, Photographer Joy, Creative Writer Joy. It's a pleasure to have you on here. And you look good.
We all say thank you.
I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes it do seem like multiple personalities, but I'm not gonna go into that much. But
the Joy that make candles, she don't take no shit.
She'll throw hot wax on you. All right, let's wrap this up. I appreciate you being here so much. Tell me people where they can find you for if they want to check out the food, get some inspiration.
Joy's Green Kitchen. So it's JOYS, then the color green, then kitchen, joysgreenkitchen.com. Joy's Green Kitchen on Instagram. You can follow me at Green Hair Don't Care podcast on Instagram. And I think I made a TikTok for that as well. So Green Hair Don't Care podcast coming soon. You can catch the food and all those things at Joy's Green Kitchen. And, stay tuned to Kickin' It Would Be because it's a great show and this was a fun time. Thank you for having me, dear.
Of course. I mean, you're always on the show. Well, when you can be, because you're busy.
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight you today. Women's History Month and, celebrate women and one of the most fantastic women I know. So I say that to say it's been a pleasure, everyone. Enjoy this episode. Until next time.
Thank you.
Peace.
This is good.